Hi, Kasey with Harmony Horticultural Consulting. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about growing Bermuda grass in shaded areas. We all love the opportunity to grow a shade tree in Arizona since shade is a valuable asset to our environment. Here are 5 recommendations on dealing with areas where Bermuda grass just won't grow in the shade. Bermuda grass does require a full 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight a day in order to thrive. Any reduction in that quality of light or in the number of hours of sunlight, then your turf grass begins to get sparse, long, leggy, and isn't as dense and full of stand of turf as you'd like.
First solution is to reduce your overall turf grass areas. Reducing the amount of grass to only growing it in the sunny areas. Converting the shady areas to mulched or landscaped areas is one option. If you do remove turf in these areas and have established trees, I highly recommend adding additional or supplemental water to these trees. Something like a net ephemering within and at the drip line is a great option for supplemental irrigation.
If shade trees are the source of shade in your yard that is impacting the quality of your turf grass, then you can look at elevating your tree canopies or thinning out the canopies to allow more light to penetrate to the turf grass. When you're dealing with established trees, you want to take care when making any significant changes. When you elevate canopies, you want to do it slowly and under the advisement of a certified arborist who can tell you if it's a safe time of year to elevate that canopy. The third option is to embrace the Bermuda grass in that shaded area, but maintain it differently. Typically, your Bermuda grass in shaded areas needs to be mowed at a different height than your Bermuda grass that is in a sunny exposure. In a backyard situation, you're mowing anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches during the warm season for all Bermuda grass hybrids. In those shaded areas, you're going to want to mow Bermuda grass at 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 inches. So there will be a varying height difference between the shaded areas and the more exposed areas. The next option is to resod using a cultivar of Bermuda grass that tolerates heavier shaded areas. Evergreen Turf here in Arizona supplies a product called TIF Grand. TIF Grand is said to only require 4 hours of direct sunlight a day. Now again, if you have filtered light throughout that day and only 2 hours of direct sunlight, you still will likely have issues with the density in those shaded areas. The final solution I have for you today is encouraging an alternative species of turf grass to grow in those heavily shaded areas. Typically in the desert Southwest, we are overseeding most of our lawns with a perennial rye seed each season. Now that rye will grow from October into about the middle of May. Now, in those heavily shaded areas, we can encourage it to linger further into the summer months if we treat it with a little TLC. The first thing you're going to want to do to encourage that ryegrass is to elevate the mow height. Elevating the mow height will reduce the stress to the grass and also reduce the amount of water that's required. You're also not going to want to fertilize the ryegrass in the shaded areas during the summer months, since that could easily burn out the ryegrass for the season. There are 2 additional alternative turf grass species that you can consider growing in shaded areas in Phoenix. The first one is tall fescue. Tall fescue is a cool season turf with a broader leaf blade. One of the considerations you should make before selecting tall fescue to grow in your yard is the volume of water it requires in the warm season to keep alive. The other turf grass variety that is an option is St. Augustine grass. St. Augustine is also a broader leaf blade of grass and is mowed at a taller height than your typical Bermuda grass varieties. One thing to note is both the tall fescue and the St. Augustine, with their broader leaf blade, if you're growing it next to the fine blade of your Bermuda grass, the texture difference sometimes can look a little bizarre. So using an example here that I have on the screen, you can see the difference of texture. If this is not attractive to you, you might consider using one of those in all the areas, or reducing that turfgrass like I suggested in the first couple solutions. Both of these turfgrass alternatives also have different maintenance requirements in the summer months, separate from your Bermudagrass. Check back in at future videos where I go through some of these maintenance requirements in the summer months for both tall fescue and for St. Augustine grass. If you'd like to explore these solutions for your yard or any other plant healthcare problem that you're experiencing, please contact me at my website below. I currently service the Phoenix metro area and would be happy to meet with you to see what we could do to beautify your space for a more enjoyable outdoor experience. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you have any gardening or landscape questions for the Phoenix metro area, please comment below and I'll take a look and see if I can post a future video to address that issue. Also, if you are on Facebook, you can find me at Harmony Horticulture, and on Instagram, Harmony Hort, both which are listed below in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.